Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that this video brings a smile to your face and maybe a little bit change of pace. I know that a lot of you have started a homeschooling routine with so many fabulous resources being provided to you by your children's teachers. Just remember, do your best. Do your best. Submit what you can and do your best. So, Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed, and this was written by Emily Pearson. Oh dear. 1 second here. There we go. Ordinary Mary was so very ordinary, you'd never guess she could change the world. This ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary school to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary blueberries. Ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left berries in a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid, she did. This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought those beautiful berries. Then secretly gave each a plate. How great! 5 people got a plate. One of those 5 was her paper boy, Billy Parker. And when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every crumb. Oh, yum, 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 he ate every crumb. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes where he often threw them. In fact, they were handed right to them. One of those 5 was Mr. Stevens, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane, then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too. One of those 5 was Maria, whose cranky little boy James stopped crying when Mr. Stevens played peekaboo with him until their ride came. When he waved goodbye, Maria exclaimed, "How strange that a stranger would be so sweet." And the next day, when she was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, she did something nice for 5 different people. 5 times without stopping. One of those 5 was Joseph, old and bent and gray, in front of her in line at the produce stand, when he said, "I guess I counted wrong. I don't really need these oranges." Little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket, and Maria put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sarah, a college girl who was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh, what will I do?" Joseph said, "This is for you," and he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sarah left, she felt sunny as noon, and she had to shine on 5 people soon. One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat, looking like the world might end, looking like someone without a friend. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sarah said. "And they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes?" said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sarah. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. One of those 5 was Tom, her son, the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice." He sighed. "I always need my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheered up that on his next break, he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients, and he handed them out right then and there. One of those 5 was Peter, a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled out of him and onto the next 5 people who came his way. One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy whose socks and such were way too much. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over, saying, "Super Wheels to the rescue!" Well, Eric, no longer stressed, was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help 5 people and do it soon. One of those 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked at him wide-eyed. "Serious?" she cried. "Sure," he said. And because of her brother Di decided maybe she could be a friend to 5 others. One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. She could hardly believe her ears when she heard Di say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared enough to give her food and a smiley-faced ring that was practically new. Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and give them something. One of those 5, Mr. Taylor, who lost his wallet in the park. Louise found it full of 5s and 10s and 20s. Oh, what she could do with all that money! But she found his name and called his home, and over he came. He was so impressed that she was honest in spite of being poor that he offered her a job in his store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people or more. One of those 5 was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show she'd heard was a sensation. "Aw, no," she said. "It's sold out, but I'm going home tomorrow." And her face filled with sorrow. Mr. Taylor held out his ticket. "I live here," he said. "I can go any time. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would be really fun. And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece, and you should have seen her eyes light up in surprise. Mary? What? Ordinary Mary? Yes, ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way, it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins from Mary's blueberries, not only the paper boy, Billy Parker, but the other 4 people too, made 5 people smile. And those 5 did too. And after a while, in only 15 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. Just see how it went. So when you start up here, you can see it goes 1 to 5 to 25 to 125 to 3,125 to 15,625 to 78,125 to 390,625 to 1,953,125 to 9,700,065 625 to 48,828,125 to 244,140,625 to 1,220,703,125 to 6,103,515,625. That is a lot of people to change lives. Well, 6 billion is even more than all the people on the planet. So after everyone had a share and everybody knew that somebody cared, there was even love left over. The world is changed, and thousands and millions and billions agreed it was all because of one ordinary day. Ordinary Mary did a perfectly ordinary, stunningly earth-shaking, totally extraordinary deed. So even though we are in lockdown at home, we can still share and spread love and kindness through extraordinary deeds, like sending a note to somebody that you love, or picking up the phone and calling somebody that maybe you haven't called in a long time. I look forward to hearing your many stories of how you're going to share love and kindness around the world. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have an extraordinary day.